right, so I'm diving into this story. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment. You don't want to miss any of my videos when they come out, okay? Super juicy, interesting topics, or what have you. So this video is going to be about me interacting with this person. Not even going to give the name of this person, but long story short, I'm just going to summarize this. I had my own place. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. I lived in Frederick County, Maryland, which is about an hour northwest of Washington, D.C. And prior to signing the lease to my apartment, rather, I had went and got me a vehicle. Not this particular vehicle, but I had a vehicle of my own. So I was super, super excited between 2015 and 2016. I was so excited in this time period because I'm like, damn, not only self-employed, right? But I've managed to get my own car and I've managed to get my own place. And I was super, super excited about this. I was really, really happy. And I started to come up with various plans and things like that as far as painting and, just home decor and just how I want my place to look. It's my own place. So, all right. So, I can't quite remember what day that I met this guy on. But all I know was that we met up or what have you. Bam. I told him that I was transgender from the very beginning to make sure that he knew what it was before we even went out. I know for a fact we've texted back and forth before we started to call each other and things like that. And so my green butt decided to allow this guy to involve himself into my life, basically our lives intertwining with each other, by him going out with me, things like that. Come to find out, when the bill would come, when we would go out to eat, he said either left his card at home or, he'd try to act as though he had the money when he really didn't. And so I was like, okay, I'll cover it. So mind you, it's one of my first time doing this with him, so I was like, okay, fine. So I covered the bill. I was a little irritated, but I did cover the bill nevertheless. So sometime later in this time frame, I do remember it was in 2016, because I remember I was doing this ride, like I was picking up passengers and dropping them off for this rideshare company back in the day. I was commuting from Frederick, Maryland, all the way to Washington, D.C. on 70 and then 270 and then 495. So sometimes the traffic can be very hellacious in the DMV region. It can be really, really crazy. And, from that time to now, traffic has grown substantially since then. And so, but back then the traffic was really, really crazy. It was hellacious, let's just say. And so there would have been times where, because I told him I had my own place and so on. Now, mind you, at this time, I didn't really have much furniture for the house. I did have cable. I did have like a TV or something like that. But I was just like getting myself established. I was very, very happy because now, okay, I'm building a rental history for myself. And it's very, very hard for someone who is not only the type of person that I am. I'm of color, I'm trans. I understand that rental discrimination is very, very real. Housing discrimination is very, very real out here, okay? People can try to package it, better and make it seem like it's not, but it's a real thing, guys. Housing discrimination is real. So, to finally have my own place, I'm like, wow, like I'm breaking down barriers. Like I'm just doing my thing and I'm just so happy. And don't get me wrong, I was a bit lonely and I needed someone to talk to and things like that. And one thing I've noticed about when you finally get your shit together and things of that sort, it becomes a very lonely road, because one, you start to develop some form of trust issues, because you don't know whether or not if that person has your best interest at heart, or whether or not if that person is going to use you or whatever. You really don't know. And so it's like, you're naturally guarded, until that person proves him or herself that that person is worthy to have in your life. Long story short, into the story, I allowed this guy to spend not one, not two, but a couple of nights at my house, to the point where I had allowed him rather, to remain at the house while I was working and things like that. Now, I wanted to be in the suburbs. I didn't want to be in the city or the big city, nothing like that. I wanted peace and quiet and just, I don't get me wrong. I'm a city girl. I've been born and raised in Washington and things like that. So I done seen a lot of shit. And to finally have my own place and be in suburban America felt very refreshing to me. And so, I would come back. He said he was hungry. I had to feed him, this, that, and the third. He didn't have no money, didn't have no job, nothing. And then it got to the point where I just said, you know what? We're going to have to go our separate ways. Not only that, but he didn't have his own car. So I had to pick him up from Washington all the way up to Frederick, and then drive him all the way back down to DC from Frederick. He had no get up and go, nothing. Just a complete bum. Didn't have nothing to provide to the table, nothing. And the whole point of this whole story right here, this summarized version of the story is this rather, it's hobosexual season, okay? It's getting cooler out. It's in the fall. It's been a little bit above average as far as temperatures, but generally speaking, in November, it's cooler, okay? Not that far, 2021 is not that far away. You guys be careful, because these people, you got a lot of homosexuals out here that's looking for a place to stay, food, transportation, whatever. And so by the time you get this person into your house or apartment, after they're there for X amount of days, I know this for a fact, if they're there for more than 30 days or so, and you had allowed them to use your address, it's very hard to put that person out. You would have to get a court order and all this stuff, and take him or her through court just to get that person out of your house. If they're there for more than 30 days, they're technically considered a resident of that property, home, apartment unit, whatever. So just be very careful. And when they start asking you questions about your own place, what you do, maybe tell a white lie or two, just to see where their heads are, just to really see, play a couple of or have them play rather a couple of tests, just throw a couple of pop quizzes at them. So instead of saying you have your own place, say you live with family, or instead of saying you work at Apple and you're a manager at Apple, you're a district manager, you're some high-ranking person at Apple or whatever other company, say that you're doing Postmates or DoorDash or whatever, just to see if they're gonna have the same approach that they would somebody who is actually telling the truth, just saying like, hey, this is what I do and this is what I have. Be careful, because not everybody deserves to know what your situation is. Going out here taking advantage, child, you don't want that. You need to save them coins, save your resources for the ones who actually gives a flying fuck about you, okay? This whole COVID situation in 2020, it caused everything to just go haywire with unemployment, homosexuals, tent city, places, not just in Washington but in other cities. It's like this. A lot of displacement is or has and still is happening. Okay, so just be mindful. It's a very cold world out here. Just be mindful. Be careful, y'all. I'm serious. Alright, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. Have any questions regarding this video, feel free to comment, share your thoughts and opinions on this subject matter. I'll talk to you all in the next video.